Oh, hey everyone, Kappa Man here. Welcome back to Yokai Tales. Don't mind me, I was just trying to cool off with this fan here. You see, we're into the summer now, and in Japan that means brutal heat and humidity. Now maybe it's my fault for wearing a lined leather jacket every day, but one has to suffer for their style, right? Most of you probably consider October to be the scariest month due to Halloween. But did you know that in Japan, it's actually the summer season that drums up the most fear? Well, it's true. That's how the Japanese fight the heat, using the chill of fear to send an icy tingle up one's spine. Yuki Makoto left a comment requesting we cover the yokai named Yuki-onna, and I couldn't think of anything better to fight the summer haze. She'll freeze you to the bone. The earliest mention we have of the Yuki-onna dates back to the Muromachi period, where the renowned poet Sogi, famous across Japan for his Renga poetry, makes mention of seeing the Yuki-onna. His story dates to around the 1400s and mentions others having seen her before then, which means she was in all likelihood an established yokai by this point. It puts her origin possibly somewhere before the 1300s. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly how old she is, and I know enough not to ask a lady her age, so it'll have to remain a mystery. As for her name, Yuki means snow and Onna means woman, but she goes by several other names such as Yuki-onago, Yuki-furibaba, Yuki-anesa, Yuki-joro, Yuki-musume, and several more. The basic meaning is always the same though, a combination of snow and some variation of woman. There are also some that use ice or icicle instead of snow, like Shigaman Yobo, Surara Onna, and Kanekore Musume. I'd hate to be the one filling out her birth certificate. Anyways, she's traditionally seen as an evil yokai, and in most stories she draws people to their doom by freezing them to death out in the cold tundras, or bursting open their doors as they sleep and freezing them with her icy breath. She's generally represented as a beautiful but solemn woman, with skin as white as the snow she comes from, long hair, and a white kimono or similar long flowing clothes. In some variations, she has an old withered face, enough to frighten those that come across her wandering through the winter expanse. Being that she is white on white, she would blend in with the scenery, almost as if her lower body was just an apparition, which is typical of traditional female ghosts in Japanese legends. You might not notice her until it was too late, the only thing standing out being her black hair and eyes. Being a well-known yokai, the Yuki-onna has a trove of stories dedicated to her. Most of these serve as a warning about the dangers of wandering in the cold blizzards, which was a very real danger back in the day. One story says that the Yuki-onna uses her power to make the illusion that there's a child lost out in the snow, and when a well-meaning traveler finds the child and embraces it to help, the Yuki-onna will appear and freeze the person in place. A variation to this story says that it would be the Yuki-onna standing out in the cold embracing the child, and would ask any passerby to hug it as well. They would become frozen in place. On one occasion, a warrior, perhaps having heard of these legends beforehand, held a short blade in his mouth before hugging the child. This prevented the grisly snow attack from happening, and after the successful hugging, the Yuki-onna was so grateful that she gave him many riches. Another story tells the tale of a young man who met a Yuki-onna, and she was so enamored by his beauty, she decided she couldn't bring herself to kill him. So, she made him promise not to tell anyone of her kindness, or she would hunt him down. This man went on to live his life, get married, and have children. One day, he finally told his wife the truth of what happened on that fateful day many years before, and in some variations, he felt he had to tell her because his wife had a similar beauty to that of the Yuki-onna. After he told her the story, she revealed herself to be the same Yuki-onna that had spared him. She was of course angered that he broke his promise, but now that they had children together, and he was a good father, she let him live. Another rendition of the same story says she was ready to kill him, but because he technically only told her and not another person, he didn't actually break his promise. I tell you, if I could count the amount of times I've avoided death on a technicality. Other stories have her visiting people, asking to take refuge in their home or for a drink of water. This story is about another version called the Yuki-onna. The legend goes that if you gave it water when it demanded, you would be killed. But one could prevent this by instead giving hot tea, which of course would be too much for the Yuki-onna to handle. Wow, with all these tales I'm feeling cooler already, so I think I'll head outside and enjoy the sun while I can. And I think I'll continue this theme of summer fun next time by talking about the kameyosa. What does a little broken bottle have to do with good times? Let's just say happy hour has nothing on this fella. See you next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have a yokai you'd like to see me cover, please let me know in a comment below on Facebook or Twitter, and I'll add it to the list. Otherwise, see you next time.